What if one company quietly changed the future of the entire planet? You use its technology every single day. You probably do not even realize it. Phones, networks, 5G, internet cables, the invisible pipes holding the modern world together. Now ask yourself this: how did a small Chinese telecom company become this powerful? How did it go from obscure to unavoidable? And why did the United States suddenly start treating it like a threat? The answer is not just business, it is power, surveillance, national ambition, and global control. If you click away now, you will miss the real story behind modern tech power. You will keep seeing Huawei as just another phone brand. That view is way too small. In this video, I will give you 3 exact frameworks from this book. You will learn how Huawei grew into a global empire. You will understand why technology and geopolitics became completely inseparable. You will see how a company can become a national instrument. By the end, you will stop thinking about Huawei as just a brand. You will see it as a case study in power. And you will understand why its story matters far beyond telecom. This is not just a business story. This is a story about the modern world order. The book we are breaking down today is House of Huawei. It was written by Eva Du. She is a Washington Post technology and China business reporter. Why should you listen to her? Because she has spent years reporting from Beijing, Taipei, and Washington. She knows the intersection of tech, politics, and state power. She wrote this book using interviews and archival research. That matters because Huawei is not a simple startup story. It is a story of industrial growth, state ambition, and geopolitical fear. The book looks at founder Ren Zhengfei. It also looks at Meng Wanzhou, the 2018 detention, and the U.S. China trade war. So this is not just company history. It is international tension in one corporate body. The first major idea is that Huawei rose through relentless infrastructure power. People think tech power is only about apps and consumer devices. That is wrong. The real power sits in infrastructure. The pipes, the switches, the cables, the systems that make communication possible. Huawei built exactly that. It became a giant in telecom equipment, 5G, smartphones, and undersea cables. That kind of control is not flashy. It is deeper. If you own the network layer, you influence how everyone else moves data. That is why Huawei mattered so much. It was not just selling phones. It was shaping the backbone of the digital age. My honest take, this is the smartest part of the Huawei story. Most people focus on products. Real power lives underneath the products. The second major idea is that Huawei became a geopolitical problem. Once the company became globally important, the politics got bigger. The U.S. no longer saw Huawei as just a competitor. It saw a strategic threat. Why? Because whoever controls telecom infrastructure can influence surveillance, standards, and dependence. That is where the story gets serious. Huawei was tied to China's national rise, but it was also entangled in global suspicion about spying, influence, and state backing. The 2018 Meng Wanzhou detention pushed all of that into the open. At that point, Huawei was not just a company, it was a flashpoint in the U.S. China rivalry. That makes the book feel very current. It explains why corporate power and national power now overlap so much. The third major idea is that Huawei's rise reflects China's larger industrial ambition. This is where the book gets wider than one company. Huawei is not just a business success. It is a symbol of China's push to master critical technology. Ren Zhengfei built the company while China was transforming economically. That timing mattered. Huawei benefited from a country trying to climb the global value chain. It also helped China move from assembly to strategic tech dominance. The book suggests that Huawei is what happens when national ambition, engineering, and discipline all align. That is a powerful idea. It helps explain why Western policymakers became obsessed with stopping or slowing it down, and it shows how one company can become a mirror of an entire nation's goals. The best thing about this book is its depth. It turns Huawei into a lens on modern geopolitics, not just a corporate profile. It is also deeply reported, which gives it real weight. The flaw? It can be dense if you just want a fast business story. It has a lot of geopolitical detail, and that can slow the pace. Some readers may also want a more explicit answer on where the company goes next. Who is this book for? If you care about China, tech, or global power, read it. If you want to understand why Huawei matters beyond phones, read it. If you want a story about infrastructure becoming strategy, read it. Here are 3 zero-cost steps to take tomorrow. Step 1. Stop thinking only about products. Start looking at the infrastructure underneath them. Step 2. When you read about a company, ask what power it actually controls. Markets, networks, data, standards. Step 3. Follow one geopolitical tech story more closely. That will help you see how business and state power merge. If you want the free PDF summary, check the description. If this video helped, buy me a coffee and subscribe.